earlier,
Vaccination.
yes, earlier, sir, you were quoted in a TV interview saying that workers, or there is now legal basis for workers to be vaccinated. Can you tell us, Secretary, the basis or the legal basis of this?
Okay. John, let's give the premise. Okay. Okay. Under the law, the employer cannot hold the salary of an employee without a legal basis. That is the general rule. Okay? Now, there is, in the latest IATF resolution, in the NCR, which has been placed under arrest level 3, a restaurant operation can operate at 30%, at 50% for the al-fresco, provided that the customers are vaccinated and the employees of the restaurant are also vaccinated. Okay, on that thing, the employer can now require the waitresses or the workers in the restaurant to be vaccinated.
Right, Secretary. Right. But we have to clear it up because the IATF resolutions are mostly, they're saying these are recommendations, and mostly the actual guidelines should be coming from DOLE. Are you guys over at the DOLE going to release these guidelines soon? Or is it as simple as that, that just because we are allowing now, 50% capacity indoors for as long as all workers are vaccinated, does that mean that that can already be enough reason to compel these workers to be vaccinated?
Yes, that's the resolution of IATF requiring the operation of the restaurant at a 50% capacity, provided that the customers are vaccinated, including the workers of the restaurant. That is the legal basis for the exemption from the general rule that you cannot compel the workers from to be vaccinated for them to be paid their salary.
Right. So does this mean, simply put, Secretary Bello, that employers are able to fire workers or temporarily relieve them from duty if they are not vaccinated?
No, the basis there is only the holding of the salary.
So just the withholding of the salary.
Yes.
So can employers also withhold salary of their workers who are not going or not amenable to getting vaccinated then?
So this only covers the operation of the restaurant, because it's the only subject of the IATF resolution, which requires the workers to be quarantined for the restaurant to operate at a capacity of 50%.
All right, so just to clarify, Secretary, this only applies in restaurants, or to restaurants, rather. Okay, so anywhere that serves food and beverages.
Yes, that's right.
All right. In terms of hiring now, can employers be more picky? Can they say that, don't bother applying if you're not vaccinated? Because, for example, I own a restaurant.
Yes. If you own a restaurant, and there are some waiters or cook, since there is no employer-employee relation yet, you can impose all the conditions that you want for people to be hired by you.
All right. What about other indoor businesses, Secretary, that will require, interfacing of clients with employees? For example, retail stores or, even certain services. Would this also apply to those, or does it really just apply to restaurants and food services?
I understand that this also applies to wellness shop like spa and gym.
All right.
I'm not very sure about the IATF protocol, but also covers the spas and barber shop.
All right. And how do we reconcile all of this, sir, with the Justice Department's clarification that vaccination should actually not be made mandatory for employment? This, of course, is a broad statement that covers all sectors and all industries. Will there be formal guidelines that will be issued regarding this?
So the Secretary of Justice or the Department of Justice position that is to continue working.
All right. So again, just to wrap everything up, Secretary Bello, if you work in restaurant services or personal care services, then you can require vaccination for people to come into work. And if they get mad because this violates some sort of labor law, what then would be the recourse of employers?
The recourse of the employer is to withhold only the pay of the worker, not to terminate.
All right. And what if it goes on indefinitely, Secretary? What if you've been holding their salary already for so long? Will there be an expiry date for that?
There is no expiry date because the position, the resolution of the IATF is that the workers in the restaurant should be vaccinated.
All right. Thank you so much for clearing that up for us. Labor Secretary Sylvester Bello III over the phone. Thank you so much for your time, Secretary.
Thank you, Sean. Good night.
And Malacanang has clarified that a law needs to be passed before companies can refuse to hire unvaccinated workers. This comes after the proposal of some sectors to allow them to reject unvaccinated applicants. However, Palace spokesman Harry Roque stressed that the need for a law to be passed first before this can be implemented. He also said that LGUs should ramp up vaccinations after the International Monetary Fund or IMF flagged the low inoculation rate in the Philippines.
No, nasa mahigit 30% na po tayo sa buong Pilipinas at mahigit 80% na nga po tayo sa Metro Manila. So sagana na po ngayon ang ating supply at inaasahan natin na mapapabilis natin ngayon ang ating pagbabakuna. Inaasahan po natin from 500 magiging 1 million yan kung hindi 1.5 million daily.
And the Bayan coalition has denied reports that it is supporting Senator Manny Pacquiao's presidential bid for 2022. In a statement, Bayan Muna Chairman Nery Colmenares said the group has not endorsed any presidential or vice presidential candidate as of yet. This is in response to Pacquiao's running mate, Congressman Lito Atienza, who said that the coalition will surely throw its support behind the tandem. Colmenares and Kilusang Mayo Uno Chairman Bong Labog were recently included in the pair's senatorial lineup. And the tandem of Manila Mayor Isko Moreno and Dr. Willie Ong held a dialogue with farmers in Tarlac. At the talk, Moreno offered various programs to help farmers get the most out of their harvest. This includes the establishment of cold storage facilities for rice and vegetables. Moreno also promised a 50% tax cut on oil and electricity and a scheme to end smuggling. Also present at the dialogue were the tandem senatorial slate, as well as Tarlac Representative Vic Yap and Governor Susan Yap. And one political analyst says that Vice President Leni Robredo branding herself as an anti-Bongbong Marcos candidate will not help her campaign for president. Professor Louis Montemar told 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang that Robredo must build an issue-based campaign. Robredo had said before that one of her reasons for running is to prevent a possible return of the Marcoses to Malacanang. However, the analyst pointed out that various sectoral groups indicating support for Robredo will be more beneficial for her bid. We'll be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Government is ramping up vaccination efforts in several areas outside Metro Manila. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said they will meet tomorrow with LGUs in Central Luzon and Calabarzon to discuss higher vaccination targets. Secretary Duque also explained that aside from the NCR, these regions greatly contribute to the country's economic growth. And officials have clarified that minors in Metro Manila are still not allowed to go out for leisure purposes. This comes after a number of families with children were seen at public places. Camille Samonte with a full report.
Families flocked to the Manila Bay Dolomite Beach on Thursday. Some parents brought their kids who had been staying at home for months, but some of them were seen not wearing face masks.
Maganda. Tsaka tuwang-tuwa yung anak ko, ito, yung 4 years old kong anak. Kasi, ngayon na lang siya uli nakalabas na pumuntang dagat dahil hindi nga nakakapag-swimming.
Scores of people also gathered at Quezon City Memorial Circle. A number of adults were doing exercises, while some children were seen playing.
Medyo lumamano po sila, sumigla kasi yung mental health nila, minsan pag nasa loob ng bahay, hindi na sila free maglaro eh. Kaya ngayon, excited sila, tuwan-tuwa nung malamang pwede na silang maglaro dito.
But the Metro Manila Council reiterated that minors in NCR are still not allowed to go out, except for the purpose of accessing essential needs and outdoor exercises.
Kung hindi exercise ito, talagang bawal po iyon. Malalakas ang resistensya ng bata. But once they go home, ahawahan po nila lahat po ng pamilya nila.
For some parents, strolling at parks may be considered as a physical exercise.
Actually, exercise din kasi dahil yung anak ko may G6PD tapos yung isa meron siyang nephritis. So kailangan niya every morning, kailangan namin ilakad as therapy yung anak ko.
Some of them even traveled all the way from Rizal to have a picnic and do other outdoor activities.
Hindi po kami nasita kanina nang pumunta po kami. Kasi marami din mga batang naglalakad eh.
Some LGUs are now working to ensure the observance of health protocols. In Marikina City, a limited number of visitors are only allowed in the riverbanks.
Require natin sila na magkaroon ng mga health at safety protocol officers at i-practice yung social distancing, hindi lang doon sa mga closed area, higit sa lahat doon sa mga open area, no?
Metro Manila remains under COVID-19 Alert Level 3 until the end of the month. Vaccinations of adolescents with comorbidities, meanwhile, have started prompting hopes of more ease restrictions soon. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The OCTA Research Group expects new COVID-19 cases in the country to go back to pre-Delta surge levels by the end of October. The current 7-day average in the country is down to 6,400, the lowest since July. The Philippines also logged 3 straight days of daily cases below 5,000. The Manila Ocean Park reopened, but only for fully vaccinated individuals, at least for now. The Manila City LGU expects kids to visit the park before December as the city begins vaccinating minors tomorrow. Filipino gymnast Carlos Yulo advances to the finals of the 50th FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Championships in Japan. Yulo delivered an impressive performance and qualified for 3 finals events. He will be defending his world title in floor exercise on Saturday. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.